Sewage leakage from the Ta Pu Ling landfill. ATV protests against Communications Authority decisions. And UN inspectors have yet to finish their probe in Syria.
Hello and a very good evening. Sewage from the Ta Pu Ling landfill in the northeastern New Territories has leaked into a water channel in the area. The government says the leakage poses no immediate threats to nearby villagers as they don't get their drinking water from the channel. Vicky Kung reports.
The northeast New Territories landfill site at Ta Pu Ling is literally a mountain of rubbish. Sewage that flows out from the landfill is usually stored in 7 lagoons before it makes its way to a sewage treatment plant. Contractors at the landfill reported a leak at one of the lagoons to authorities on the 27th of July. The sewage leaked into the nearby Kong Yu Channel. Water samples taken from the channel earlier this month showed that the pollution level was above the acceptable standard. Authorities say only a few families live in the area and their water supply has not been polluted. But farms in the area have been told not to use water from Kong Yu Channel for irrigation. Water trucks provide them with fresh water for the time being. The northeast New Territories landfill is 140 meters deep, which is equivalent to piling up a person of my height 90 times over. The damaged temporary lagoon is constructed at the northwest corner of this landfill. An inspection of the facility has found a crack at the bottom of one of the storage lagoons.
In the last half of July, the weather has been quite bad, with quite heavy rains over a long period. We believe that would add to the load onto these temporary storage lagoons.
The authorities have tried to remove some of the dirty water and are now trying to fix the damaged lagoon. But contractors at the landfill site may be held legally responsible. Vicky Kung, TVB News.
A row continued today over whether a heart specialist at the Prince of Wales Hospital is qualified to perform complex cardiovascular surgery. The hospital said in a statement last night a certificate that Dr. Yu Chuk Man had shown to the press yesterday only suggested that he could take part in but not lead such operations. But Yu said this morning that the medical procedures are performed by 2 doctors, neither of whom is a leader. More details from Jenny Lam.
According to the Prince of Wales Hospital, the certificate Dr. Yu Chuk Man showed to the press yesterday was issued by the manufacturer of the medical equipment involved, which only means he can take part in such operations. But to actually carry out the medical procedures, the hospital said doctors must perform the operations 10 times under the supervision of overseas experts before they are allowed to do so on their own. Speaking on a radio program this morning, Dr. Yu reiterated he has gone through the right training. During an operation, he said 2 doctors work together, neither of whom is the leader, and he has done the operation 10 times along with another doctor. The hospital's management said 11 patients operated on by Yu last year developed complications and 4 of them died. Now that he has been banned from performing the procedures, Dr. Yu explained that the Prince of Wales Hospital can no longer offer the heart operations concerned since they now only have 1 qualified doctor. He claimed that of the 4 deaths in question, the cause of death of 3 of the cases had nothing to do with the operation, and the 4th patient was already in a coma when he was admitted to hospital. In response, the Prince of Wales Hospital said they place great importance on the risk management of medical treatments. Dr. Yu's case is now being looked into by experts, and the hospital is not going to further comment on it. Experts, as well as an independent committee under the Hospital Authority, will now investigate claims made by Dr. Yu, the Prince of Wales Hospital, and complaints against the hospital's chief executive, Fung Hong.
I think this incident has come to a place where there are a lot of public concern, and I understand and the Food and Health Bureau is actually also very concerned about the incidents because it now has implications on clinical governance as well as risk of the patients.
Former Secretary for Food and Health, York Chow, believes it is not just about the qualification of a doctor, but the way the entire cardiology unit at the hospital is run. He urged the government to find out what happened before the controversy came to light, because it affects public confidence in the Prince of Wales Hospital. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
Local broadcaster ATV's employees today protested against the Communications Authority's decision to penalise the TV station for breaching its licensing conditions. ATV stressed it will appeal against the decision. Evelyn Leung reports.
A noisy affair outside the central government offices in Tamar this afternoon. ATV employees staged a carnival-like protest there against the Communications Authority's decision to penalise the station for breaching its licensing regulations. The broadcaster has been fined $1 million. The authority also said the station's executive director, James Shing, is not fit and proper to run the company and has ordered him to step down by September 2nd. Shing made a brief appearance at the protest to thank his supporters. I heard many of my supporters came here today, especially for me, and I feel very touched, he said. Shing also said he is willing to make sacrifices for ATV. The station's senior vice president, Nick Ip, stressed the broadcaster will file an appeal against the penalty to the chief executive and council. He also said they will fight until the end. Apart from ATV's employees, the station's supporters also joined the protests.
We want to tell the Communications Authority we are very concerned because lots of us have been ATV fans for quite some time. ATV has been in the history for like 40 years. We like their episodes, their news, ATV focus, and we want Communications Authority to give every player equal opportunity.
However, at the same time, there were also those who support the Communications Authority's decision. They called on the government to issue new free-to-air licenses as soon as possible.
This is not fair to Hong Kong people. ATV is unwatchable to many people, and TVB now enjoys a virtual monopoly in the local TV trade. This is just not fair. And with a cosmopolitan city like Hong Kong, we should have more TV choices for sure.
Claudia Mo said if James Shing still hasn't resigned by September 2nd, she will call on the Legislative Council's IT panel to hold an urgent meeting to discuss about ATV. She hopes the government will then be able to offer a detailed explanation on the progress of this case. Evelyn Lang, TVB News.
Turning overseas now, the United Nations has called on the international community to allow inspectors to finish examining the site of an alleged poison gas attack in Syria last week. Hundreds of people were killed in the incident. The United States and its allies are convinced it was the fault of the Syrian government, and they seem determined to carry out a military strike, which sources say could happen within days. The United States and its allies appear to be finalising plans for a punitive strike on Syria. But with the West keen to restrict its involvement in Syria's messy civil war, Washington has been busy coming up with legal reasons to crystallise, justify and sanction the use of force. The White House stressed a potential mission would be limited in scope and would not aim to kick out Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
And I want to make clear that the options that we are considering are not about regime change. They are about responding to a clear violation of an international standard that prohibits the use of chemical weapons.
Ever since reports emerged last Wednesday about a massive chemical weapons attack which left hundreds dead, the pressure has been on to determine how the incident unfolded and who was responsible. All sides fighting in this brutal conflict have blamed each other. Caught in the middle have been the United Nations inspectors, who've been making trips to the site of the alleged attack, but haven't finished their report outlining their conclusions. Today, the UN Secretary-General urged all countries to give the inspectors time to work out who was responsible. But the US-led coalition seems to have already made its mind up over who is to blame and why action is needed.
There is no doubt who is responsible for this heinous use of chemical weapons in Syria: the Syrian regime.
But what we know is this regime has huge stocks of chemical weapons. We know that they have used them on at least 10 occasions prior to this last wide-scale use.
Cameron also announced Britain had drafted a resolution which would be put to a vote at the UN Security Council. One nation unlikely to support it is Russia, which has vetoed previous resolutions on Syria. Still, Moscow appears resigned to some sort of imminent action and advised its citizens in Syria to leave for their own safety. Another Syrian ally, Iran, made a new warning today, saying US intervention would be a disaster for the region.
The latest radiation leak at Japan's tsunami-wrecked nuclear plant now ranks as a serious incident on an international scale. It is so bad the government is taking over cleanup efforts. The International Atomic Energy Agency has been notified that the leak of 300,000 liters of radiation-contaminated water at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant has reached a level 3 incident. The 2011 Fukushima disaster itself was rated at a maximum of 7, ranking it as the worst on a radiation event scale. Plant operator Tokyo Electric Power Company has admitted hundreds of tons of contaminated water may be entering the sea each day. While the plant must continue to spray tons of water onto reactors to cool them down, TEPCO still struggles to contain the resulting wastewater. One of the largest wildfires in the history of California continues to rage out of control today. With high winds and no rain in sight, officials fear the flames could wreak havoc on San Francisco's primary water supply. Smoke and ash billow high into the air from a fire so out of control, it's chewing up the pristine Stanislaus National Forest faster than firefighters can lick it. The fire has already charred over 75,000 hectares of land and is threatening to reach the tourist areas of Yosemite National Park. It's the biggest fire in recorded history for the area and the 7th largest California wildfire since 1932. Cost aside, the damage is staggering.
All of our neighbors upriver have lost their homes.
Rugged terrain, strong winds, and dry conditions are why firefighters are having such trouble containing the blaze.
When a fire gets into an area that hasn't burned in a long time, and those fuels are so dry and the fuels are so thick, we get a really, really hot fire, and it scorches the earth.
The so-called Rim Fire began on August 17th, but its cause remains a mystery. It's now reached the shores of a key reservoir that serves as the primary water supply for San Francisco.
As of Tuesday, this fire has burned 180,000 acres. Thanks to firefighting efforts throughout the week, we've already been able to get a handle on 20% of that fire.
With no escape routes, firefighters cannot be dropped into the burn zone. Their only way of attacking the flames is from the air. That's where water-dropping helicopters and DC-10 planes are coming in handy. DC-10s are now dropping some 12,000 gallons of fire retardant at one time, stopping the flames dead in their tracks. Even with more than 4,000 firefighters battling the blaze, trouble still looms in the hard-to-reach areas.
You've got all that hot smoke and hot air rising. Well, if air rises with the ash and stuff, it's very unstable air, which can push the fire in any direction.
Exacerbating fire conditions is the prediction of even more scorching hot temperatures later this week. Sonia Artero, TVB News. And still ahead in our newscast, John Tsang says Hong Kong can help transform mainland firms. A new generation of smart MTR tickets soon. And the World Tango Championships in Argentina.
And we're back tonight with more local news. Hong Kong and the mainland will sign a new supplementary agreement on the Closer Economic Partnership Arrangement, or CEPA, tomorrow. Speaking in Guangzhou today, Financial Secretary John Tsang said Hong Kong businesses can help transform mainland enterprises. Jenny Lam has the story.
More than 200 Hong Kong companies are showing off their services and products at the Smart Hong Kong Expo in Guangzhou. It is an opportunity for service providers to connect with potential clients. Tomorrow, Hong Kong and mainland authorities will sign their 10th CEPA supplementary agreement to further enhance cooperation between the two sides. Financial Secretary John Tsang, who will sign the deal with Vice Minister of Commerce Gao Yan, noted that CEPA now covers 48 service sectors instead of the original 18. CEPA has enabled Hong Kong professionals to break into the mainland market and encouraged professional organizations on both sides to recognize each other's qualifications. Hong Kong businesses, Tsang said, have rich experience and can provide reliable testing and verification services for mainland firms. Representatives from professional service sectors, including the construction and insurance industries, have been invited to the signing ceremony here in Hong Kong tomorrow. Jenny Lam, TVB News.
New video evidence was presented in court today in the case involving a couple who are accused of physically abusing their domestic helper. The defence found contradictions in the helper's testimony. As Rani Samtani reports, defence lawyers say the helper wanted more money from her employer.
Video clips taken from closed-circuit television cameras at the entrance of the building where Kartika Puspitasari worked were shown in court today. On the day she left her employer, she could be seen carrying a backpack. The defense said she seemed relaxed and composed and didn't look like she was running away. That's contrary to Kartika's claim that she left in a hurry without anything. Kartika explained she hadn't eaten for 2 days and stuffed food and drinks from the garbage into the bag. Contrary to her claims that she was never allowed out alone, video clips showed her walking in front of her employers. When asked why she didn't escape then, Kartika said it wasn't easy. The defense also said Kartika threatened the female defendant with a knife for more money after finding out her mother had been diagnosed with cancer. And because she was upset, she smashed her head against a wall in the kitchen in front of the female defendant. The defense says the female defendant then calmly agreed to send the money to Indonesia and asked Kartika if she needed to return home. But the helper begged not to send her back to Indonesia. The defense also said that all of Kartika's injuries are self-inflicted. But Kartika denied all of those allegations. The defense also claimed Kartika refused to leave even after her employers decided not to renew her contract. The male defendant urged her to find a new employer or he would report her to the immigration department for overstaying and breaching her contract. A day later, Kartika left the house. The judge then adjourned the case till tomorrow morning. The court will summon a doctor to testify about Kartika's injuries. Court proceedings are being translated from Chinese to Indonesian for the helper to understand. But at times during questioning, it seemed as though the helper didn't quite understand what she was being asked, as she often had to ask the court interpreter to repeat the question or to reaffirm what they were asking of her before she gave her answer. Rani Samtani, TVB News.
The MTR will soon replace its magnetic strip single journey tickets with a new generation of smart tickets. The new system will be gradually introduced from October. Joel De Silva reports.
The old familiar MTR magnetic strip single ticket will soon disappear. MTR is set to begin phasing current tickets out and replace them with smart ones in just a few months.
The magnetic tickets have served us well for over 30 years. However, the technology is becoming outdated, while smart tickets have become mainstream.
The MTRC says the new tickets are not only more reliable, but also more durable, as they can be reused for over 200 times, 4 times more than the current tickets. These memory chip smart tickets also allow for the introduction of different ticketing products, such as the recently announced MTR City Saver, a bulk purchase discount scheme for MTR rides within a pre-designated set of stations that will be rolled out soon after the new tickets are introduced. If you are traveling on a single journey ticket, it will work as an octopus card. You simply have to tap and go. The new system will start being installed in October in stations that are relatively less busy and should be fully implemented in the first half of 2014. A few magnetic strip ticket gates will remain in operation so that commuters can exit and enter all stations regardless of the type of ticket they are using. The introduction of memory chip smart tickets, including the necessary upgrading of ticket gates and ticket issuing machines, will cost the MTR Corporation an estimated $200 million. João da Silva, TVB News.
All right, Tony, what exciting sports do you have for us today?
We've got football to kick off with, and I can tell you that fans of Arsenal are breathing easy tonight. That's because Arsenal has qualified for the Champions League. The Gunners dominated Fenerbahce of Turkey to book a place in Europe's top competition for the 16th straight year. Emerson Wong reports.
Aaron Ramsey scored twice at Emirates as Arsenal completed a 5-0 aggregate victory over Turkish side Fenerbahce. Following their league opening loss to Aston Villa, the Gunners have won 3 straight. The draw for the Champions League is tomorrow.
We completed the job, and we had some problems to get into the pace of the game, but overall, especially in the second half, we controlled the game and did a professional job. It was not a very maybe exciting game, but we did what we had to do. And overall, we scored 5 goals and didn't concede. So we are in the group stage. That's what we wanted.
In Germany, Bayern Munich under new manager Pep Guardiola dropped their first points of the Bundesliga season. Bayern and Freiburg played to a 1-1 draw. Nicholas Höfler equalized for the home side late after Xherdan Shaqiri put the defending champions ahead in the 33rd minute. And no, he's not planning a comeback. At least we don't think so. David Beckham was back training with one of his former teams, the Los Angeles Galaxy. Beckham retired earlier this year after helping Paris Saint-Germain win the French championship. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
On to the US Open now, and easy first-round wins for Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. Djokovic routed Lithuania's Ričardas Berankis 6-1, 6-2 and 6-2. The Serb is gunning for a 4th straight finals appearance. He lost to Andy Murray last year. Federer, seeded 7th this year, put away Gregor Zamja of Slovenia in straight sets. Other winners on the day include John Isner, Milos Raonic and Thomas Berdych.
To Buenos Aires, where Argentine tango dancers stormed the World Tango Championships yesterday to win the top spots. Florencia Zarate and Guido Palacios were crowned the champions after their performance was lauded for its elegance and viscosity. Their secret? The couple said they allowed the music to pass through all their muscles so that their 2 bodies became one. Tango, both the music and dance, is synonymous with Argentina. So much so, the United Nations included the activity as part of its cultural World Heritage List for 2009. And that's our news. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Good evening. It was fine and very hot today. At 5 p.m., generally fine weather prevailed over southern China. Today's temperatures range from 27.3 to 33.3 degrees, and the current temperature is now standing at 30 degrees Celsius. The very hot weather warning is now in force. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow?
Oh.
It'll be very hot with a few showers tomorrow. Temperatures will range from 27 to 33 degrees. Expect showers in the following few days. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 15 to 85, and the air pollution level will range from low to high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 11. And now to the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai and Xiamen, rain in Taipei. Sunny in Guangzhou, bright in Macau, cloudy in Chengdu. Sunny in Beijing, rain in Seoul, bright in Tokyo. Thunderstorms in Bangkok, rain in Ho Chi Minh City, showers in Manila. Showers in Kuala Lumpur, thunderstorms in Singapore, cloudy in Jakarta. Thunderstorms in New Delhi, showers in Karachi, rain in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo, bright in Nairobi. Sunny in Brisbane and Sydney, showers in Melbourne and Auckland. Sunny in Toronto, cloudy in New York. Showers in Vancouver, cloudy in San Francisco, sunny in Los Angeles. Cloudy in London and Frankfurt, sunny in Paris and Zurich, bright in Amsterdam. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.